Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I have a bedroom makeover for you. It's a makeover I did on my daughter's bedroom. I'm going to show you what it looked like before, what it looks like now, and also how I shopped my home and included lots of handmade items in here. So we've got a few things I crocheted, a few pieces of macrame, and yeah, how we gave it a little bit of sort out and a lot of a freshen up. It's also worth saying that this is a realistic makeover in that I started, first of all, nearly a year ago, just after we moved in, because I promised her that we would decorate her bedroom quite soon after we moved. But the phase one happened in sort of winter, and then phase two didn't actually happen. What I call the big sort out didn't happen until the summer. So if in parts of the video you see me wearing woolly jumpers and then suddenly cycling shorts, which honestly was a bold choice on my part, that's why. So here's the room as we were starting with it, and as you can see, the walls were blue, the carpet is blue, and it's a super dark blue. It's an attic room, so it's quite dark anyway, and on the one hand it's cozy, but it just wasn't working. It's too dark for us, and a lot of our furniture was quite old too, so we decided to buy some new furniture, and here is what we decided to get: a green cabin bed and a little green desk and a blue wardrobe. I also want to try and use up some paint I already had, so we had some Farrow green smoke left over from our bathroom renovation in our old house, and also I think it's Schoolhouse white. And then to pull it all together, we ended up using this wallpaper, which I shared about on my Instagram, and then I was really kindly gifted. It's just super cute. She loves leopard print, and so it was perfect. I'll list down below the links for everything where we got it. I feel like looking at all this together, the blue wardrobe doesn't look quite right, but actually in reality it's more of a darker colour, so I think it all sits together really nicely. So I started out by covering up the dark sloping walls with the Schoolhouse white, and amazingly only took 2 coats to cover this up. And then I did the green colour on the lower walls. Here is the wardrobe. Some bits started arriving, and then I also got to work wallpapering. Please note my plumb line that I made with a screwdriver. And here's where I want to be honest with you, because do you see that little corner that has no wallpaper on it? That was like that for about 6 months while I built up the courage apparently to try and wallpaper right into a corner. But once we got there, the next step that I wanted to do was a really big sort out of all of her room and all of her things, and then just bring in a few more personal touches. Here's the bed and the desk that we bought. She was really happy with the colours, with the wallpaper and the things that we bought, but I did feel that the bed and the desk were kind of blending into the wall. So I wanted to do something about that, which I will show you shortly. And you know that point of a sort out when you really start to question what you're doing? Yeah. At this stage, I'd taken everything out of the room, and I decided to move the bed under the window, and I wanted to make a little feature behind her desk. So I decided to do a little arch, and to do this I used a sort of plumb line. I used a piece of string and a pin. I placed it in the middle of the wall where I wanted the arch to go, and I drew myself a semicircle. I then just drew straight lines down from the edges of my semicircle to create an elongated arch. And I think the colour that I'm using here is pink ground. We had a little
tester pot of it. And it just creates a little bit of a feature. It's directly under the window and her desk is going to sit against it.
So whilst the archway is drying, I'm going to show you some of the handmade items that I am going to bring into the space. And as I said, I really wanted to try and shop my home a little bit, and we know I have lots of handmade stuff, so here is one of the items. This is actually a pattern that was in my first book. I think we called it the Geo pillow, but oh my goodness, it was a few years ago, so I'll put the description in here. It is just a really funky tapestry crochet little number. These fluffy stitches here are actually made using, I think it was an alpaca yarn and loop stitch, and then the sort of white profile yarn was just worked in double crochet, so it gives that sort of relief contrast effect. And it also features a little envelope back, so oh look, there's another crochet pillow underneath. If you needed to, you could take it off. This is also a project from the same book, my first book, Modern Crochet Style. And again, it's just a sweet little basket. I thought the colours would be quite good in this space. It does almost look like a knit, but it is crochet. It's just that it's worked almost like in the back bump only of each round. And I use a sort of macrame cord, so it makes this really sturdy little basket, and then the tassels are simply attached on the outside. So that's the second item. And then the third item, I feel like they're getting bigger and bigger, is actually a stool. If you've been following a really long time, I think I maybe did show this on the podcast super long time ago. I made it as a pattern for Molly Makes. It is actually crochet. I made really long loop stitches essentially, and then cut them, and then I spray painted. So this is just one of those really simple IKEA stools, and put the fluff over the top of a pillow. So I didn't even do a circle, I just did a square. But hey, he's fun and he's fluffy and he definitely goes in this room. So I thought she could use this as a little bit of a bedside table or stool, just to put a few books on. And then the final one is actually a chair. This was, my grandma was a teacher. This is actually her chair when she was a teacher. So it's probably like 1940s, 1950s. And it's had a few paint jobs over the years. I mean, it probably could do with another one, but let's pretend we're going for a shabby chic look. And quite a long time ago, I think it was when Rosie actually first started school, so about 4 or 5 years ago, only because I remember sitting waiting to pick her up at like 1 o'clock or something on one of her first days, doing this as a kind of like distraction, feeling really anxious that she'd just started school. So it's quite nice. It's in her room now actually, and you'll see it's not crochet, it's macrame. I kind of made it up as I went along. I think I had recently been on a macrame course. Yeah, I'm not sure if I've done any macrame since. Another little item that I thought I'd bring in is another little macrame piece. This was actually made by a friend of mine. I bought a couple of them off her, and I mean, probably just a little fake plant will do for in here, because the chances of her remembering to water it or me remembering to come upstairs and water it are fairly slim.
Once the archway was dry, I braved something which I'm not normally allowed access to, power tools. Honestly, it frustrates me so much that I don't really know how to use power tools or like what the correct fixings are, but I was determined to give it a go. Apparently I used the wrong type of wall plugs, but hey, it's been at least 6 months and they're still up there, so I'm going to take that as a win. I then wanted to do a little bit of a tidy up before I brought everything back in, and honestly, the Dyson wasn't cutting it, so we had to bring the big guns out, and Henry, bless him, Henry did it for me instead. I then carried on with the endless sorting of all the tiny items that apparently belong to 9-year-old girls. I also created a really big box and put in everything that I didn't think that she was playing with anymore. She, at this stage, was very reluctant to get rid of anything. Sorry, not everything, anything. So what we agreed was I would create a box, and if she missed anything or there was anything she wanted to play with and she couldn't find, we would see if it was in the box and we would get it out. Disclaimer, she's never asked for anything. I also don't think I've gotten rid of the box. I think it's shoved in our Eve space, so note to self, sort that out. I also decluttered some of her clothes, and at this stage we were keeping everything in this drawer under the bed. I don't know if you noticed in the video, I wouldn't recommend this bed. It's so squeaky. We wanted to get a wooden one thinking that would be sort of better quality, but honestly, it's just a cheap one. We're no longer keeping the clothes in the drawer under the bed because, shockingly, it's really impractical. I've now got her a little drawer, like plastic drawer thing, which sits in that wardrobe and works much better. I then started bringing everything back in, all my very neatly sorted little drawers and bits and bobs. Put some books on there for her. Started adding a few things to the shelf and also bringing in some of those handmade items that I've been talking about. I don't know what these guys are, but they are so cute. Rosie really likes drawing and art, and she's also a little bit obsessed with storage, so I just know she is going to really love having these little shelves and a little pin board to put all of her little treasures on. So I'm super happy with how the little archway corner is looking. Here is the little macrame hanger. We've got this quite handy wooden beam. I think we could actually hang some kind of cool hanging chair or something from here, which I did look into getting, but in the end they were just proving a bit too pricey. I put my little crochet cushion on my grandma's old chair, and that is what she is going to use as her desk chair. She's not sat here for extended periods of time, so it's just a pretty chair. She's got a little basket to store some pens and things in, and I also started hanging up all her medals on her pin board. And here's how the back of the chair is looking. I know that we've replaced the dark blue colour with a dark green on this wall, but honestly, just having the sloping ceilings painted off-white makes such a massive difference, and also this side where the wallpaper is a lot lighter because it's got that base of sort of minty green.
I am hoping to do lots more decorating videos with you. I'm also thinking of doing a home tour and just taking you around what it looks like now. We moved in about a year ago and the people before us decorated it really beautifully, but inevitably when you move into a new home, it's not always exactly in your style. And I think I've been putting pressure on myself to wait until everything's perfect to do a home tour, but I figure why not just show you what it looks like now, show you the plans and the things that I want to change, and then I can take you along with me as I make changes and decorate different rooms. So yeah, I do hope you enjoyed the video. Please do give me a like and a thumbs up, or hit that follow button, if you do. I'll see you all very soon in my next video. Bye bye.